Time for episode number 3 from the Versus series. This is none other than the king of the fragrance world, the almighty Aventus himself, taking on the best clone to this date, Club de Nuit Intense Man by Armaf, and a distant cousin. Cedra Boissé by Mancera is often compared to the Aventus, but I totally think that Cedra Boissé is in a class of its own. Progression is phenomenal, longevity is truly out of this world. Big shocker here, Cedra Boissé will not take part of this video. I will focus today's episode on the Aventus that doesn't need any introduction since it's one of the most recognizable fragrances in the entire world, and Club de Nuit Intense Man, which is the best clone of Aventus so far. In today's consumer-oriented market, when you're the king, they just come at you from all corners. Let's take a look at the history of Creed first. Creed began as a bottle of Royal English leather, a rich mix of mandarin, ambergris and sandalwood, commissioned by King George III, passed from father to son for 7 generations since its London founding in 1760 by James Henry Creed. The House of Creed has been handcrafting uncommon fragrances for royal houses for over a few hundred years. The Aventus was designed as an homage to Olivier Creed's hero Alexander the Great, whose likeness is alluded on the label. Introduced in 2010, this scent has grown to become the best-selling fragrance in the history of the brand. Aventus has been crafted by 6th generation master perfumer Olivier Creed in collaboration with his son Erwin. At the top we have bergamot, blackcurrant, leaves, apple and pineapple. Through the middle we have berries, birch, patchouli and jasmine, and at the base we have musk, oak moss, ambergris and vanilla. Let's take a look at the clone now. Club de Nuit Intense Man is produced by Armaf, which is owned by Sterling Perfumes. The presentation on the Armaf is not as imposing as the one Creed offers you, and also there is only one size you can find the Armaf in. When it comes to the composition, obviously there are not many differences. Top notes are apple, bergamot, blackcurrant, pineapple and lemon. Middle notes rose, birch and jasmine, and base musk, ambergris, patchouli and vanilla. When it comes to smell, that added lemon top note may be a make or break thing depending on your personal preferences, but to my nose that added lemon to the top notes just makes the experience harsh in the opening. So when it comes to the composition and the way the notes are blended, I will definitely give it to the Aventus. And when it comes to presentation, I will also have to give it to the Aventus. Keep in mind that both of fragrances offer women's versions as well. Aventus for her marks the irresistible feminine counterpart to the legendary Aventus, and Club de Nuit Intense Man for women, which is no surprise, another clone, but it's not cloning Aventus for her, it's a clone of Tom Ford's Noir de Noir. Now, by this time you are probably wondering how can Armaf pull this off? But yes, it's perfectly legal to clone or duplicate fragrances because when a scent is created by the manufacturer, only the name and packaging are trademarks, but not the scent itself. The Supreme Court ruled that the scent of perfumes cannot be trademarked because ingredients are derived from nature. Therefore, the ruling states you cannot patent a scent of nature. For the hardcore fragrance enthusiasts, the Armaf cannot offer the heritage that Creed can, but it can definitely compensate with experiencing a similar smell for a way lower price. Nowadays the Armaf can be found much easily than 2 years ago. I got mine from takeitoday.com last year for the equivalent of 19 bucks, which is just unbelievable. And I got my Aventus from notino.com for the equivalent of 300 bucks. Versatility is great on the Aventus. It is surely wearable and is one of the most complimented fragrances worldwide, and you can enjoy it as long as you have the money. This is where Club de Nuit Intense Man dragon comes in and makes the Aventus experience affordable, and it sure makes it hard for the people around you to tell if there are any differences between them. You will always get complimented wearing a fragrance as long as the fragrance suits your style and persona, and also as long as the people around you can actually smell it, which means that we are down to performance. This is where the Aventus loses some points, because for the price it does not offer you the same counterpart in performance. My Aventus badge gets me around 4 hours of longevity, and sometimes as far to 5, maybe 6 hours, but to get there I have to spray like crazy all over myself. The projection is medium for the first half hour to 1 hour. After that it slowly becomes a skin scent. The Armaf on the other hand is like super potent and strong, projects like crazy for the first hour. It starts to fade by the 3rd hour mark, and then it goes into skin scent and can stay there for even until next day. Always keep in mind that performance is a parameter most wanted by the average consumer, but the quality will be the one preferred by fragrance gurus. So when it comes to performance and longevity, the king may be slain by the dragon depending on badge variations, which seems to be a fact, but in the end it will always come down to every one of you to judge these parameters depending on your preferences and budget, of course. Thank you for watching, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one.